What made you realize you were a medium?
I'll start with being a child. And I still remember very clearly I was in bed one night and we have a room that's placed here. And there's a little hallway and there's another room right across. And I remember lying in my bed, I wasn't sleeping. And that door, which was across, we always used to close that door. So all of a sudden I see this hand come out of the door and it's black. It turns the knob and the door just swings wide open. So
How old were you?
6, 7, I'm not even sure, around that age.
Okay.
And I really got scared. I
Okay.
put my head under the covers and I couldn't sleep for a couple hours and I fell asleep and that was it. And I remembered it and I remember telling my mom and she's telling me, it's your imagination. There's no such thing as ghosts or spirits and all that. And then another time, I don't think it was much longer than that, what the landlord where we were living was on the first floor and he died. And I think it was probably a week after his death, we're on the third floor. So we have a big 7.5. And when you go down the stairs, you have to walk a few steps and then turn to go down to the doorway. So as I went to go down those few steps, because my aunt was over and she wanted me to get her boots. So I look down and I see the landlord, which his name was Mr. LaRose, and he smiled at me and he tipped his hat and eventually went away and it scared me. And I went running to my mom and she says, stop it, it's nonsense and all that stuff. So back then it was very hush hush.
Okay.
And
Why?
people didn't want you to say anything about that stuff because they didn't believe you, thought you'd be a little crazy and all that stuff. So anyways, as a child, that eventually went away as you got older because society, the way you're brought up, you're taught to do things in a way that everything is controlled in a sense. You have to be up at a certain time, you have to go to school, you're set on a schedule. So being a medium, I think everybody has it at an early stage. And as you get older, and it's not much, maybe 3 years old, you lose all that and you start going into what the world gives you right now, a routine. This, you can do this, you can't do that. You have to obey that, you can't do this. And with that, people start trending towards routines and being obedient. So that's where the whole thing changed.
Wow, that's where you lose it. And when did it come back to you?
First of all, when you're a kid, you don't know what a medium is. You have no idea. So at the age of 21, I was in college. I had one course left to take. And back then, it's not with your phone, you press a button and you mark in your course. Before, you used to go to the actual school, sit down, write it with a pen and paper, and go to the desk. So I had that one course, sat at the desk, checked it off, went to the person there, and she said, it's closed. I said, God, I have to go back and I have to pick another course. And the only other course I could take was a humanities course on spirituality. And being 21, I said, do I really have to take this? I mean, what is this? It's all bogus, BS. So I took it, I signed up for it, and that was probably the best course I've ever taken in my life. He taught us how to do an outer body experience.
At the university?
At the university. Gave us step by step by step. And being 21, I mean, at this stage, I didn't believe in any of this stuff. I was thinking it was all in people's minds and everything. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go home and I'm going to actually try the exercise he gave us. So I think it was probably a few days later, my mom and my brothers weren't home. I was by myself and I said, okay, I'm going to try it. So I lied down in the bed. I did all the exercises he told me. To make a long story short, I ended up doing an outer body experience where I raised myself to the ceiling. And when I got there, I felt myself hit the ceiling. And I looked back and I got extremely scared and I rushed back in. But I think having that experience with outer body experience led me to be more open to it and to see spirits. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I would be able to do what I do today.
So for you, this out of body experience helped you develop your mediumship, or at least reveal that there's something more.
There's something there, but what people don't understand is, if you say you left your car keys on your desk, and you come back and you're in a rush and you see your car keys aren't there, and you say, "Oh God, I could have swore I left my car keys there," and then you find it in the kitchen or something of the sort. People don't see the signs of the paranormal. They brush it off. They think that they're going crazy or they're too busy and they left it behind. And it's the same thing when you're feeling a spirit or something. They sense it, but there's the fear that builds up in you, and you say, "Oh, it's just my imagination." You walk away. Nobody tries to actually search and find out if it's real or not. To take that one extra step, because society's built up this fear in you that if you watch Friday the 13th or Amityville Horror or whatever those old movies were, Exorcist and all that, you've built that fear inside of you. So it's there. And once that fear is in you, oh my God, a ghost, I don't want anything to do with it, I run away. So you stop yourself from moving forward in that sense.
After this out of body experience,
okay,
what happened that made you realize that you are a medium?
Okay, 14 years after that experience, we had kids, my wife and I was outside, and I was just watching the street, and I see this man pacing in the middle of the street. I'm saying, "Why are you pacing in the middle of the street? Why aren't you on the sidewalk or something?" And it's a very long street. It's not short, it's extremely long, so you could see from one end to the other. Anyway, so he starts pacing, and all of a sudden he crosses he's in the middle of the street. He goes towards this Nissan Pathfinder, a gold Nissan Pathfinder. He went for the door, except the door didn't open, and he went to sit inside the car, but the door never opened. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I am either going crazy or I'm just seeing this guy go right through the door and sit in the car. So it kind of...
He actually sat in front of you without opening.
He's right across, right for where, let's say, your back wall is right here. It's not far, maybe, 10 feet. And I'm like, okay, this is nuts. Like, I don't see him anywhere on the street. I went up to the car, mustered up enough energy to go to the car to see if he's actually in the car. And it's maybe my eyes playing tricks on me, and he was not in the car. There was nobody there. I look up and down the street. The guy was totally gone. So I can't explain that. And I went into the house. I told my wife, and I said, "You can't imagine what I just saw." And she says, "Okay, well, you're seeing your ghost, obviously."
But and she believes in it.
Yeah, no. If it wasn't for my wife, and I give her full credit, if it wasn't for her, I would not be who I am today.
Okay, because she did not dismiss it. She didn't tell you.
No, she didn't dismiss it like my mother did or other people.
Which made a huge difference, I guess, right?
A huge difference. Yeah. So that was 14 years after the fact. And I started questioning if, am I okay in that sense? And I'm an extremely logical person. I try to debunk anything. I look at logic before I look at spirituality, at least back then. Mm-hmm. And I started questioning it. And these events kept coming. I mean, I would be at work and I'd be on the computer. Well, let's backtrack. I would be doing a meditation, and I would see this couple that's in a car, in a minivan, and they're driving in the minivan. And all of a sudden, this rock comes and hits the woman who's driving, and it hits her right on the head. And it's basically a mountain, and a boulder comes and just crushes the car. So I told my wife about it, and I went to work the next day, and I'm typing in if any of this events has happened before. I type it in, and sure enough, in Colorado, there was this couple with their kids in the back, and they were driving the same car that I seen, and this boulder hit the car, and it crushed her on the head. Yeah. So.
And how much time has passed between your meditation and these accidents?
Less than 24 hours. So it's like the night before I had it, and the next day I would come and I would see it. And there's another event that
I mean, it was news. It wasn't
It
like
was no,
old
no,
news.
no, no, no. It
new
was
stuff.
new. It was
Alright.
new news.
Okay,
So
okay.
I saw it before it would happen. Let's say I saw it at, I don't know.
Oh, you saw it before? I thought
Before
you
it
saw.
happened.
Oh my
No,
God.
no. So it would be, let's say, at 5, 6 o'clock at night. I would do a meditation. I would see the events, and then next morning I would look, and it happened at 7:30 at night. So it was like a 2.5 hour difference before it actually happened.